Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. I really tried to film this in a different spot other than in my room, but I couldn't decide where and like lighting, and so I'm back right here. Whenever I wake up, I really like to immediately do something that kind of grounds me and builds that connection within me. So that's usually yoga for me. I'll always like wake up and roll out of bed and just start doing yoga. But some days, are different, and just depending on how I feel when I wake up, whether I'm in a low energy state or high energy state, I will do yoga or journal or meditate. But those are like my three main things that I like to tap into in order to get my day off to a more connected start. So I really wanted to talk about my morning routine because I don't always do all the things that I want to do. And in this video, I kind of did all of the things that I normally want to do, kind of like an ideal morning routine, but that doesn't always happen. And I want to reflect on a day where I didn't do any of these things and kind of how it unfolded for me. So today is Saturday, May 1st, and then on Monday earlier this week, I woke up and I didn't do anything. I was just in bed all morning. And for those of you who don't know, I work at Trader Joe's. I was in bed all morning and I didn't do anything, and I was totally feeling stagnant all morning. And then I got ready for work, and then I was heading to work, and I started this cycle of self-judgment and telling myself why am I avoiding myself? Why did I not do anything? I had all morning to do something and I didn't do anything. What's wrong with me? While I'm at work, I was working on the register for the first hour, and I was just going in on myself. And I can't remember all of the specific thoughts that I had, but it was just me bashing me in my head and going at it for the whole first hour that I was there. And while I was on register, I was just working myself up and going in this spiral. Then all of a sudden, it was just reaching a peak, and I was just feeling very emotional and uncontrolled emotions inside of me. And then the next customer comes up, and it's two older ladies, and they could tell that I was super frazzled. And one of them comes up to me and she's okay, just take a deep breath. And then when she says that, at the same time, my manager is coming from the other side, and then all of a sudden I just inhale, and then on my exhale I start crying, and I was crying to my manager, and he's go get out of the store. And I was just crying in the alley behind work, and definitely not an easy moment to experience. And the rest of that day I felt really down the rest of my shift. But upon further reflection, as I do, I was looking back on that moment, and I'm trying to really face myself right now and not let anything go unnoticed. And I realized that I am actually really proud of myself for allowing myself to cry at work, a place that you're not supposed to be crying. Because normally when I shut down and when I spiral out of control, I don't feel anything. I suppress all of my emotions. And so to me, feeling that sadness and allowing myself to cry was a really good win for me. Because it meant that I was fighting back against what I normally do. There is change going on inside of me, and maybe it's not expressing itself in the most perfect way right now, but something is happening, and I can be proud of myself for allowing it to happen and pushing through and seeing myself through. So yeah, that was my Monday, and it just started off a really hard week, a tough week, a rocky week with rocky moments. And I was feeling a lot of downs this week and not really feeling the full power that I know exists inside of me, and all of these answers that I know as truth, and I didn't really feel that truth this whole week, and which is okay. I know I'm going through a lot, as I continuously talk about, but yeah, just trying to use the morning as a time to make things feel slow and take your time and do things that make you feel good in order to set up the day and to always have something that you can look back on and be proud of. I feel like right now what's going on with me is like what my roommate told me. He said like sometimes in your life you are like clearing out the closet and like the closet is now like super clean, but then all of the stuff outside of it is like in disarray. And I feel like that's what's really going on with me is I'm taking like an inventory of all of the negative things that I engage with on a personal level and in my mind, and facing them as they come to me, and like being aware of when I'm engaging with them. And so it's just difficult, but I just like keep reminding myself like just keep going, like you'll get through this, like reminding everyone that everything takes time and everything is a process. And I'm really good / bad at getting through things really quickly. Like I'm really good at like moving on from things, but then I'm really bad at when I'm not moving on from something quickly, and then I'm like, why am I not moving on from this quickly? Like what is going on here? Like what is happening to me? And I really just like to wrap things up in a pretty bow and like move on to the next thing. But like the process that I'm going through right now is just not that, and it's not going to be that. It's going to be like a long time and like a long while. And it's almost like I feel like I'm dealing like with my craziness, you know, like the things that I just have about me that that are so ingrained in me and so like conditioned in who I am, that I am trying to release them. But you know, they've been around for so long, it's not like you can just like go to sleep and then wake up and you're a new person. So I think the biggest thing that I'm seeking right now is peace within like the craziness. So feeling like I am still able to be at peace, still able to have fun, still able to live my life, even though I feel like there's all this like internal chaos going on. And knowing that this like path of struggle that I'm on right now will eventually just be another moment that I can look back on and tell myself like, wow, like look at what I went through, look at what I was able to get myself through. All because I showed up for myself, and all because I put in the work and the commitment every day to not allow myself to live like this. And I want to allow myself to be happy. I want to allow myself to have fun. I want to allow myself to be in peace and just take all of the moments that are good for what they are and let them be, and not try to make them harder than they need to be. I have this deep desire to like always be connected and to always be present and to speak in a way that is so like full and like rich and just so giving all at once. And so when I'm not in that place, it's like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I be there? And why can't I be that? I know I can do it. And I really believe in myself. I really do. I know that I have that power within me. But to just, you know, take it back and let myself realize that it's going to take time for me to get there, and that it's just something I have to work on, and just being open in a much like more deep sense, building up that consistency, letting myself experience all the moments that I need to in order to get to that place that I want to be at. Sometimes, guys, it's just like, oh my gosh, what is going on in here? But I guess that's the whole point of this, is to figure it out. It's funny because this is like so in line with a year to live practice, it seems like. Like the first part of my practice was like such a honeymoon phase. Like I was so on top of the world. I was like living. I just like felt every day so much and so deeply. And then I was like, okay, enough of that. Now you have some real shit you got to deal with. And I think I'm just taking inventory of who I am and what I have agreed to, and looking at it, looking at that list, like what agreements have I made, and crossing out the things that I no longer agree to, and writing down things that I now agree to. And even though you cross something out, it doesn't mean you've erased it. So yes, it is all a process, taking steps one day at a time. We will get there. We can do this. And then also just being okay enough to tell people, like, I'm having a hard time, and like, don't let the smile fool you. It's been a rough week. It's also like a lot of discovering just how deep our conditioning is, and just how deep habits can be and beliefs imposed upon us are. Like one thing that's super common now that people say all the time is like, feel your feelings, feel them fully, and go through them, and like move with your feelings and let your emotions be. But then it's like when you actually have to go through it, it's a lot harder than just saying it. And so just realizing like in what ways we are told not to feel, and what places we are told not to feel. Like, like crying at work is not something that's like highly encouraged. It's definitely more of something that you like do alone, or on your own time, or in private, or only after a serious conversation. Like, you're not necessarily allowed to just cry and just to be. So pushing back on all of those conditions and allowing yourself to do the things that you need to do for yourself in the moments that you're in. But yeah, sorry if this was like kind of all over the place. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, so maybe that's just how this talk is going to be represented, which I am just going to make myself be okay with. See, it's always a work in progress. Everything that we do, we eventually get better and better and better and better and better at. So, yay. I did not meditate this morning, so I am going to do that today, and I think I'm gonna go outside and hang out in the park. So I hope that everyone has a good day, and if you have anything that you need to talk about, please don't keep it inside, because it's not worth it. Just let it go. Let it out there. Tell everyone. Tell anyone. Something will come of it. Something will come of it.